Okay. Was that too loud, Sal?
No, we're good. Let's do
All
it.
right. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. It's been an interesting couple of months. I apologize. Honestly, don't really apologize, but I do apologize for not getting enough content out. People have been in my DMs for months now talking about I'm a pussy. I need this, that, the other. Talking about if you need motivation, here's your motivation. Listen, I see all those. Thank you so much for the support. I decided before I introduce my guest, but you know my guest.
How dare you? How dare you have an education, you fucking coward?
Well, it's not even about the education. I decided to focus on my senior year of football in college. I'm not a fucking 8th grader or a 12th grader. I decided to focus on football, and it turned out really well. So screw you guys, but I'm back. Without further ado, I'm back. You see the fucking sign. Sal's with me. I'm fucking back. From now on, it's grind season.
Got
Without
all you
further
need right
ado,
here.
welcome back, Sal, for the 18th time. What better of a way to bring back the podcast when you're about to grind than starting with Sal?
I feel like at this point I should be saying welcome back, Collin, as well.
I think you should. I deserve a welcome back. I've been gone, and I can also show these now on
Oh,
camera.
shit, yeah. I mean, you were always 21. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I was a collegiate athlete.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So let me just do this. Let me just start with this. So, yeah, I'll tell you about my last couple of weeks. How about that? So, I was worried I wasn't even going to start the season. First off, I don't know if you've been seeing anything, but I'll just tell you the story. So I was worried I wasn't going to start. COVID happened. I was still coming back from an injury, kind of, and I was worried I wasn't even going to start. And even during the middle of the season, I was like, what if I'm not doing well enough and they bring me out and bench me? Well, random part in the season, middle of the season, I've been doing well. I've been grinding. I'm practicing twice a day. I'm going before practice, after practice. They named me as a captain for one of our biggest games, right? And we lose, but it was still one of those. It was kind of a turning point for me. And so I'm a captain in that game. And then the next week, I have a 58-yard punt and a high average. And I have a good day, but it still wasn't a great day, right? And then the week after that, we skunked this team. Maybe that was the week before. We beat this team really bad. And I had a 69-yard punt, right? I had a 69-yard punt, 45-yard average, and I pinned them back. I pinned the ball on the one, and I got Northwest Conference Player of the Week for all special teams. I come back the week after that, get Northwest Conference Player of the Week again. Before I know it, season's over, and I'm all conference. I'm second team all conference. So within a matter – and I was captain for that last game. So within a matter of like 3-4 weeks, I was promoted to captain for 2 games. I got Northwest Conference Player of the Week twice, 2 weeks in a row, and was recognized by my school. My face was all over the website. And then I got all conference, second team all conference, within a matter of like 3-4 weeks. So needless to say, my emotion – and then now I'm done with football for good. So needless to say, my emotions are all over the place.
Yeah, dude, you were like a fucking Kardashian for a minute there, and then now you're nothing.
Yeah, literally. I don't know. And I was talking. So I attribute part of it to I've been talking to a sports psychologist for like half the season, and I think it really helped me. I wasn't in the greatest of places before, but I feel like I attribute some of that to that. But dude, I told her, I was like, today I was talking to her, I was like, I felt like I split off at some point. I split off into a new timeline, and like here I was, just normal Collin, and then all of a sudden I split off, and all these achievements just kept flying at me, and it was really overwhelming. But it was also like now looking back on it, it's like that's one of the dopest things I could have done. I will always be able to say that I was a captain for in college. I was Northwest Conference Player of the Week twice back to back, and I was all conference in college. So I'll forever be grateful for that. But it was just like so fast. Like it was like within a matter of 3-4 weeks, everything that I've worked on for like 7-8 years just came at me, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, that's how things work. Once you work on them, eventually they get finished, and whether you're ready for it or not, they get finished all at once. Once it's done, it's done. But at least you were able to have those sort of accomplishments. I mean, it makes for a hell of a business card at this point. So you got that going for you.
Enough about me though. Sal, what have you been doing? Before we started, I said that we haven't talked in like 5 months, if that.
Yes.
So like, what have you been doing? What's good? What's up?
I have undergone an operation, and I'm a woman now. No, nothing's really new with me, man. I mean, I started a new position at a concert venue out here called Brooklyn Bowl, Las Vegas, just working in the box office. So that's cool. So I'm back in the music industry where I've always, where I've been working towards since I was fresh out of high school. And COVID kind of sidelined a bunch of things, not to make a bunch of fucking football puns, but here we are. So things are back now, and things are not back, but they're getting there. They're a lot more back than they were. So I'm working back in the industry, and things are only going to pick up from here. So it's nice to get our feet grounded and to start moving again for sure.
Definitely. And that's got to feel good to be back at what you actually are passionate about rather than just working in like basically a construction company.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's like, it's one of those things where it's just box office for now. So, I'm basically just handling will call and selling tickets and all that fun stuff. But it's like, I'm a people person. So it's like I get to interact with a lot of cool people at the window. And the only thing that sucks about it so far is like, and nothing to say about the job. It's just, it's the statewide vaccine mandate. And I'm double vaxxed, and we're not going to talk about that because, fucking, yeah. But I mean, just the people that do have a problem with it have a fucking problem with it, and I got to deal with all their shit fits, and I got to turn people away, and people try to get refunds, and unfortunately there are no refunds at our concert venue, so then it's like that's a whole fucking fiasco, and that always just holds up the line, and that sucks. But I mean, like, if you work in any sort of I want to say retail, for lack of a better term, even though it's not necessarily like retail like in a major department sense, but any sort of job where you have customer service, you're gonna have shit customers, right? And I mean, I think it goes just about anywhere. If you work for any job where you interact with the public, you're going to deal with shitty people, and that sucks. But I mean, it's one shitty person per every 1,000 concert goers that are there to have a good time. So they're already shown up. Maybe they've pre-gamed a little bit. They're in a good mood. Everyone's lighthearted. It's a really good experience overall. I mean, I wish I could do it more. I wish I could work there 8 days a week, but right now with the way concerts are, it's just right now it's usually just weekends, but hopefully that picks up to start booking some Monday and Wednesday tours and things like that. So,
and Brooklyn Bowl's more of a smaller concert venue, correct?
Yeah, it holds 2,300. Usually we try to sell it at about 2,100, so that way there's a little bit of breathing room. But I mean, if tickets start flying and there's demand, we're gonna sell the rest of them. When it gets packed, it gets packed in there. But yeah, I mean, it's bigger than a house, but smaller than Allegiant Stadium. So,
what's the biggest artist you guys have had there?
Oh man, I mean that's tough because it's like a lot of artists. We try to book artists that'll fill the venue or at least sell a good amount of tickets, and an artist that our venue can hold. And a lot of artists eventually go on to outgrow that venue. For example, we had Post Malone on the Stoney tour, and that show sold out like immediately. But now Post Malone's way too big to play a 2,300 seat venue. He just headlined today in Vegas out here. I mean, he's a stadium act at this point, if not at least arena.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of artists, just gradually get bigger and bigger and bigger. But yeah, I mean, as far as acts we've had that have sold out the venue, I mean, there's been everyone from, like I said, Post Malone to Chance the Rapper on the Coloring Book tour, Suicide Boys on the Live and Die New Orleans tour, Schoolboy Q on Blank Face.
Dizzy Wright's pretty big. You guys have had him.
Dizzy Wright's big enough out here where he has a big enough following, but he's never sold it out or anything like that. But I mean,
that's crazy. You would think Dizzy Wright would at least sell it out in Vegas at the Brooklyn Bowl, right?
I mean, possibly, but also Dizzy Wright plays there pretty often, so it's sort of
Yeah.
just it's not like the supply and demand of like, and Dizzy Wright's also never had a project like Post Malone Stoney, for example, that did
Yeah, okay, but that's different, right? Like we're talking
right,
about like Post Malone who blew up after when you guys first had
right,
the demand for Post Malone and versus a guy who is Vegas bred, dropped 702 EP, bro. Everyone was living on the east side, bro, when that came
right,
out, right? It's that bull the highway of him, and everybody loved that, bro, from the Vegas.
right.
But yeah,
Also,
dude.
quick effect, quick asterisk, the Suicide Boys record is just called "I Want to Die in New Orleans," not "I Want to Live and Die in New Orleans." Um, I've had a feeling I fucked that one up, but I have a good relationship with my parents, so I don't listen to Suicide Boys that much.
Yeah.
Also,
I think while we're on this, no, finish what you were gonna say because I was gonna change the subject.
no, it's all good. I lost the Zoom window, but I found it, so continue.
I was just gonna say, while we're on this topic, I think it's almost impeccable that we talk about Travis Scott, right?
Sure. I mean, yeah, fuck, that's a thing, man. But yeah, lead it off, lead the charge.
So, I obviously was still focused on football when was it last weekend or was it 2 weekends ago? No, it must have been 2 weekends ago because Day in Vegas was last week.
2 weekends ago, but I mean, at this point, it's only Wednesday, so like 10 days.
So,
I
yeah,
think.
so I was in Spokane, actually. I was in Spokane, Washington, driving back when I heard about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can look it up. But basically, there was people who were trampled to death from raging or crushed. And there was also people being injected with drugs, right?
Yeah, it was November 5th. So it was, I guess,
9
just
days.
over 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 9 days. No, today's the 17th. So 5 to
12
7
days. 12 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 12 days now. But anyway, yeah. So apparently people were being injected, and it's like that's fucking terrible. But at the same time, I mean, there's no justifying it, but like, what are you gonna do? It's like if people want to fucking kill, if there are crazy motherfuckers out there that want to commit acts of terror and they want to kill people, and we learned that from Route 91, and just about every other week in American history, there's a school shooting somewhere, or at least some sort of mass shooting, and it's terrible. And unfortunately, the sad truth is those people are gonna be out there, and those things are just gonna happen. There's no way to prevent it. I'm glad that there was a suspect, and I think they caught the guy, and that's a fucked up way to fucking go about it. Like, that is terrible to go out and inject people. But I mean, the fact that I guess it falls on security for not checking thoroughly, because it's like, how do you sneak in that many syringes unless it was more than one person?
It probably was, if we're going to be real here, right?
Right. And I guess you just need one syringe at that point, because if you're killing people, you're not worried about using fresh needles. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess that falls on security to check that out. I don't necessarily blame Travis Scott for the fact that there was somebody out of his control that had a malicious intent to kill people. I mean, by all means, fuck that guy. I think a lot of the blame falls on Travis and his people.
Yeah, definitely.
Festival for the trampling and for the fact they weren't stopping the show and all that shit, all the other things that go on, because there are right and wrong ways to run a festival, and they did not run it the right way, hence the amount of lawsuits and the lives that have been lost. But in that one particular instance of that guy going around jabbing people, I mean, that's not on anyone but him. And by all means, fuck that guy. But Travis and his people got to pass on a fucking murderer that there's no way they could have predicted.
Yeah, I think the injections is a how do I say this in the right way? I think the injection guy is more of a anomaly. I think the problem people are having is what you were saying about the non-stoppage of the show and Travis singing while he was seeing people dead being carried away.
No, 100%. And like I said, I mean, it's an anomaly, but it does add to the shit show. I mean, less people would have died had they not been murdered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that anomaly is the reason why the festival was canceled, because there were deaths and multiple deaths. I mean, don't get me wrong, one death is too many. One is too many in any instance, regardless if it's a fucking music festival or a mass shooting or just a pedestrian getting hit in the crosswalk. Any one life lost is one life too many.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely added to the severity of it. But yes, the major uproar over it is towards Travis and him. I've seen videos of him saying "stop the show," and I've seen times where he just kept performing when the crowd was chanting "stop the show, stop the show." So it's one of those things where I feel like it's tough for me to judge because I wasn't really there. But I mean, I blame Travis and I blame his people. I'm sure it's not too hard from a stage to see every time the crowd's chanting "stop the show, stop the show." It's not hard to look out in the crowd and see why are they saying that? What's wrong? Because clearly everyone there isn't just like, oh, this show's fucking terrible. It's not like Coi Leray at Rolling Loud where everyone just is like, get off the stage, you fucking bum. I mean, everyone there is a Travis Scott dick rider. So
true, and Travis Scott is almost like a cult leader at this point, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the fact that his own people are saying stop the show, I mean, something's wrong.
Yeah.
I was just a day in Vegas on Sunday because I worked the first 2 nights.
You worked?
I worked
Brooklyn Bowl.
Yeah, I worked at Brooklyn Bowl. There were 2 shows. There was I can't even remember what the fucking shows were. One was a wine mixer and the other was emo night. So yeah, right.
2 great nights,
Yeah, right. Fucking tip my hat to Live Nation on those. But anyway, so
as I digress real quick, I will be back in town on Tuesday, by the way.
Oh hell yeah. Let's do it.
So I'll be there till Monday, Tuesday to Monday.
Sweet.
But
so if anyone wants the official Collin needs answers or demands answers, should I say, meet and greet, Collin will be signing autographs at the Galleria Mall Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. until 5:30 p.m.
I will not be home at 3:30 on Tuesday. Wednesday.
Wednesday, my fault. My agent got me the wrong details on that one.
Back to the Travis thing though.
Yeah.
You made a connection to Route 91, and I haven't thought about that in a long time, bro. I have something I'm going to do regarding Route 91 that I want to run by you. It's a really cool idea, and
sure.
I'm not going to run it to you on the podcast because I don't want someone stealing my idea because it's that good.
Gotcha.
But let's talk about for a second how important it was for the Vegas community, especially the Henderson community who lost Quentin, for the Golden Knights to come in the season they had in the 2018 season right after the Route 91 travesty. I think the connection between the travesty of the most deadly mass shooting of all time and the Golden Knights becoming a franchise and going to the Stanley Cup is almost the most important story in sports history. I think it's up there.
Yeah, and there's no question that I don't think one would have happened without the other. I mean, don't get me wrong, Route 91 happened without the Knights. That happened first. But the Golden Knights would not have rose to, successive.
She was showing up at England's house going with knives blaming him for Route 91. Could you imagine?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was one of those things where it was like the city needed someone, and all of a sudden there were a bunch of guys that were cut from their teams to go to this new expansion team. So these were the guys that were left out. So these were the guys that needed a fan base, and we were a fan base that needed guys to root for. So we each equally needed one another. And the players played for us, and we cheated like hell for them because they were the only thing that had to keep us going, and we were what kept them going. And together we got through it. And, the next morning, blood donation lines were wrapped 3 times around, we're talking 6 to 8 hour wait times. People were going out of their way to empty their pantries to donate food and water. I mean, we all saw the reaction. Every major city in the world reached out to us, which is the one thing that I think that we forget when I see hockey games and I see Knights fans being dicks to people like what happened with those Avalanche fans during the playoffs last year. I mean, I get it. Hockey's a sport, right? Chirping's part of the sport. You got to talk shit. You got to talk trash. That's part of the game. That's part of what makes it fun. But, I mean, there's a line to be crossed. There's a line where, I mean, it goes from just talking trash and it's just in good fun and part of the game to just being borderline just disrespectful. And, I mean, I think that Vegas forgets that Colorado, as well as every other major city in America, were, part of the movement that would fly the Vegas strong flag and run those advertisements and get the word out to people and lend out their hearts and their prayers to us as well when we were recovering. And I think that just a lot of people have forgotten that and forgotten that we owe those hockey clubs and those cities overall back the same decency. But yeah, I don't think that I think that I wish Route 91 wouldn't have happened. I can't say like, oh, I'm glad it happened because the Knights are successful. I wouldn't have, if the Knights never made it to where they are, that is what it is. If they would have had a year, sort of like, no offense, what the Kraken are having, that's just whatever. It's sports. It's just a game at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
I would trade anything to go back and stop that night from happening. But the fact that it did happen has led us to where we are, and the Golden Knights are a huge part of why the city overall was able to just rebuild and recover. We're
Yeah,
never
for
going to be
sure.
fully recovered. We're never going to be fully recovered. There's still going to be scar tissue. That day in Vegas, even I thought, there was a huge, condo high rise located like down at the intersection of Sahara and whatever the festival ground. I don't even know. I guess it's Las Vegas Boulevard and Sahara at that point where the actual festival grounds were. And even I would look up at the building and just think like, anyone can go on there and just, there could be a copycat killer. Anyone can do the same fucking thing. It's overlooking the crowd.
Yeah.
But I think that people in New York City look at the New York skyline and look at the new World Trade Center and think the same thing about that. Or, it's just, there are people in New Orleans, I'm sure, look at houses and think, if there's another hurricane, my house is gone. It's like there are major events leave scar tissue, and that's just it. But we can't live in fear, and we got to move forward, and we got to keep living our lives and doing what we want to do for fun. And that's what we did last weekend, and that's what we're going to do in September for Life is Beautiful, and that's what we're going to do with every other music festival that comes here, because
Yeah.
we are above the evil that comes into this world. And that's that.
Yeah, Route 91, I remember that night like it was nothing. I've refrained on this podcast from talking about this because I'm really close with the Robbins, and I was always worried that if I said something on here, I didn't want to offend a family that I'm close with who lost someone in that.
Right.
But I want to say this because I don't think I ever have. Quentin Robbins was one of the best people I've ever known in my entire life. I grew up with their family. He was a great guy. He was immortal, and you looked up to that guy. He was 20 years old. He was in my sister's grade. I had always looked up to him. I actually wore an A in the class of 2020 or class of 2018 to graduate because him and his friends wore it with my sister and everything. I wore the A because he wore the A. I looked up to him. He was a great guy. And when he died, that was a big hit, dude. Everyone, especially big hit. Like that was a big hit that Basic and Henderson community took, especially like the Hendertucky community,
Yeah, I personally, believe it or not, I'd never met Quentin. I never knew him. But I know a lot of people that did. But whether I knew him or not did not change the fact that an innocent person does not deserve to fucking die. Going out and doing what he wanted to do for fun, which is the same thing that I like to do for fun.
Exactly.
If I was a fan of country music, I would have been at that festival. There's no fucking question. I go to every festival I can. I go to every live concert experience that I can. It's just what I like to do for a living. It's what makes my heart beat. It's what I do for fun. And the fact that somebody my age was able to just be taken from us so quickly and so easily doing those exact same things, that fucking sucks, man. That's heavy. That's hard to look at, That's hard to put myself in that position because we don't know what it's like when we're gone. I think about if my parents were his parents, and that's just, it's tough, man. It's hard to think about. I can't imagine what his family's been through, but I will say that I can't imagine what his family's been through, but I don't have to imagine I don't have to imagine a world where he was just simply forgotten. People pass away and people grieve and they heal and they get better and they move on and they celebrate and they go to and they leave flowers at the grave on the anniversaries of their deaths, but that's pretty much it. But in this particular instance, I see the Q logo that his family, had mass produced and all the little stickers and things. It was his little logo he had on his helmet and shit. I see that on the back of a windshield at least once a week. There's a giant fucking Q painted next to the B on the mountain behind Basic High School. Which, if you're not from this area of the world, if you're not from the Lower Valley, Henderson, or Vegas in general, there's a rival high school to where I went called Basic High School, and behind that there's a big mountain and there's a giant B painted on it. It's massive. You can see it from the other side of the valley. It's just like it's one of those things that just everyone kind of knows down here. People throw bonfires at it all the time. After Quentin passed, they painted a Q next to the B, and that's the first time anyone like that is anything. Kids have gone to basic and passed away, but that's the first time that anyone's had a memorial like that.
Well, and I mean, he had his jersey retired too. It's
Sure.
it's a testament.
He's got a street. There's a
Yeah,
street right off a racetrack.
Yeah, and he has a courtyard right there too. Their family is very important in the especially in the basic community, in the Henderson community, but it felt as though he could do no wrong. And that's what hurts the most, dude. When I heard he was shot, I'll tell the story. I was laying in bed. I wasn't laying in bed with my dad, but my dad told me to come in and watch what happened because he's watching the news, and it was Route 91, and I was like, I have so many friends there, and I was like, I feel like someone was shot, that I know. And he's like, there's no way that's possible. It's like the likelihood of that happening is just unreal. And when we learned, I was like, Quentin was shot. The first thing that popped into my mind was I'm going to be playing basketball with him at the church that eventually he had his funeral at, actually. Sad enough, he was going to be at that church and he was going to be showing off his scar. That's where my mind went.
Right.
And to hear that he died, I think, not that I've been scared to death for the last few years and I just got over it, but I'd been struggling with my mortality since that night, dude. Like, as soon as he passed, I think people realize this in their 40s and in their 50s about death, but I really was faced with my mortality at 17 when Quentin died. Someone that close to me and that close to God,
Right.
And so when that happened, it what really messed up my mind I would always count down the days until I was his age, exact age, when he died. And when I got there, because he was born in March 21st and I was born on March 18th. So when I got to October September 30th or 29th, 2020, I was the exact same age as him. And I was like, I'm not ready to die,
Right.
And it was a weird moment to be put in perspective of your mortality. And I had been in this I had been thrown into it. And then, recently I've really matured. I think it's just age and growing up and finishing college and everything. But you realize that I don't think you're ever ready to die. But
No.
I think that there's a point in your life where other people become more important than you. And the reason we hate death so much is because when other people die, it hurts to us more than we're not afraid to die. Maybe you're afraid to not exist, but you're afraid of the pain of dying, really, if you're afraid of dying yourself.
Right.
And you're afraid of people you love dying more than anything. Because
Right.
there's nothing more painful than everybody you love dying.
Right. I think you pretty much nailed it. I think we all struggle mentally here and there. Some of us a lot more than others. And I mean, those are the people that we should, if you're listening to this podcast, I encourage you to pause this now if you know anyone that struggles mentally and just check on them. Just say, hey, miss you, bud. How have you been? Take a few minutes out of your day. It might make the world to them. You never know. But I think that, every time we do struggle mentally, whenever we do lose someone, and if we have thoughts of suicide ourselves or whatever, whenever somebody does actually die, and I mean actually lose their life, it kind of makes you stop and go, whoa, maybe that's not what I want. It's tough. It's tough to deal with. I had a woman, a girl I knew named Alyssa, who back when I worked at 7-Eleven, she would come in all the time and every day, and she'd buy a pack of Trulies or White Claws or whatever the fuck. She was a white girl, so it was a seltzer. And I would always joke and tease her and be like, oh, another one? It's just giving her shit, giving her a hard time. Because she's someone my age, and she'd usually have a friend with her or whatever. I didn't think she'd kill a whole 12er by herself. But yeah, I mean, the other day I was on Facebook and I just saw like a RIP post, and I'm like, what? And I went to her Facebook account, and sure enough, she fucking she took her own life. And you know, maybe I never thought to make the connection, because she always, you know, they always say like, oh, he always seemed like such a happy person, because nobody wants to look that way on the outside. But I never made the connection that maybe that she was drinking every day because she was trying to kill something else inside of her, and eventually that just got the better of her. And you know, she left behind a beautiful baby girl, and that shit just sucks, man. That fucking sucks. But yeah, it's yeah, you're right. I mean, the thing about death isn't the fact that we don't exist anymore. It's the fact that we have to leave that absence in the hearts of all the people that we care about. You know, it's the fact that we know how much it sucks when we lose someone. It's the fact that the people that we love are going to have to feel that towards us.
Yeah.
And that's the part of it that fucking sucks.
It's, man, it's, you know, we grew up in such a position in our lives, such a place in the world where, you know, drug addiction, alcoholism, mental illness, and massacre, you know,
Right.
all occurred within our youth.
Yeah. And you know, the other things that suck about death too is it can happen at any moment for any reason that's entirely out of our hands. Like
Look at Henry Ruggs' situation.
Or Henry Ruggs, you know, yeah, it's like
that's not a death of his. Here's the thing: he killed somebody, and that's death. And also, he killed his career and his future, and that's death.
Yeah, it's sort. I mean, you know, yeah, it's just shit can happen to you at any given moment. You never know. You never fucking know. You can't be laughing.
No, I am gonna laugh because I was gonna say
we can't just cut back to us laughing.
We're already cut back, and I was saying, you know what sucks? It's literally it'll be 5 o'clock, and I live higher than you, so it'll be 5 o'clock on a it'll be 5 o'clock, and it will be pitch black outside.
Oh no, not this. No, not this fucking conversation. Not the whole goddamn daylight savings conversation.
Daylight savings is ridiculous, and if you don't agree with me, you're ridiculous.
No, I agree. It sucks. It's terrible, but that's also the whitest thing you could possibly talk about is how dark outside it is. How this early. I hate it.
We went from the most deep conversation about Route 91 and our experiences to daylight.
That's like the equivalent of when it rains out here. There's always that one asshole that's like, we need it. Like, fuck you. No, we don't.
The worst person in the world.
Desert. You know the worst person in the world. Period. Straight up.
People, the person. If you could mold the worst person in the world, it's always the people who, when you're in a conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not really people. They're just bots, and so they'll that's what the daylight savings, or they'll rain you, or the one that really gets me is the people who are when you're walking, you either give them a head nod up or a head nod down. You know, if you don't know who they are and they're usually a strong person, you're like this. It's the people who don't do that and they just stare at you, or the people who are will talk to you in line and stuff. Those people deserve to be slapped at some point in the near future.
I don't even think you can call them people.
They're just bots, bro.
Yeah, they just kind of exist. I mean, I hate, it's crazy to me that, you go through your life and you interact with people and you're just like, that person has no fucking soul. That person's never going to fucking do anything with their life.
I mean, if you're a god, though, wouldn't you, sprinkle in some fake people just to make real people's lives more interesting?
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I guess. I don't fucking know. I never really thought about that. I mean, I guess I can play The Sims and find out, but I mean, that's what The Sims is. It's just you playing God.
So here's my question for you, Sal.
Hit me.
Where have you grown in the last 5 years? 5 years. Where have you grown in the last 5 years besides
my dick? Yeah.
No, grown in the last 5 months, as a person. Where have you gotten better? Where have you seen?
Oh shit, that's a hell of a question.
It is, and I want to get into some things because
man, where have I grown in the last 5 months? I don't know if I fucking have, man. I mean, here's the thing.
You had to
I,
have, bro.
I, yeah, I mean, I could. I feel like I've shrunk more than I've grown, if that makes sense.
But isn't that growth in its own respect?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've just been. I guess in the last 5 months, I've been a lot more motivated as of late. I've been adjusting my sleeping habits. I've got a job that I really like and that I've been trying to get. I don't know. I've been trying to get a paid position at Brooklyn Bowl since September of 2018. 3 years later, I finally fucking got it. So there's something, I guess. And that's no disrespect to them. I mean, that was something I signed up for. I was an unpaid intern for a while, and now I'm a paid employee, and that's fucking sick.
You're a paid unintern.
Oh, yeah, I'm a paid unintern. I'm a paid outturn. And
It's an extern, I think is what it is.
okay. And yeah, I mean, aside from that, I've been kind of going through it. I've been going through the struggle, not just mentally. I don't want to admit to it publicly, but fuck it, I got nothing to lose, especially money, because I've been flat on my ass broke for the past couple of months. I mean, I'm talking to a full-time college student, so I get it.
I'm about to say you're talking about broke here, bro.
Yeah.
I'm broker than you, bro. I'm paying to play football, basically.
Yeah, I've just been, going through it. I've not been working a full 40 hours and just not, it's money hasn't really been there. I've completely gone through my savings account and I've racked up some credit card debt that I'm working on paying off. So I've been going through that, and there's been days where I've had to figure out where my next meal is when I hadn't started at Brooklyn Bowl yet. And, I learned to cook. That's something. Through the struggle, I learned to make food because I had to. I learned how to cook fucking Hamburger Helper, and I'm so excited about it.
Hamburger Helper is a move, bro.
It's fucking good, dude. It's
It is
fucking good. I can feed myself for 2 days off $3 off the double cheesy Italian shell box. Fucking run it. But yeah, aside from that, I mean, that's I guess I haven't really. I feel like I'm the same person, and I feel like I haven't been through anything that's super traumatic enough to force me to grow. Not that you can only grow through trauma, but you know what I'm saying. But I've certainly developed more skills, and I've gained things in life.
That's still growth.
My position where I'm at has progressed. I just don't know if I'm I don't know if I have any sort of I guess it's still growth. I register and monitor growth as in terms of changes in thinking and changes in outlook and ideals. And I guess I'm still the same kind of person in that regard, but maybe I don't need to be a different person just yet. Maybe I just need to keep progressing and moving forward and just becoming a better me, but not necessarily a different me. And that's what I've been working on.
That's good. And I think that you're in a process of growth right now. Right. I'm in a weird spot in my life because I'm at a spot where it hasn't been. Can you say something where you're at right now and just smile real quick? Say something now.
Say anything whatsoever?
Yeah.
No,
you're good. Yeah. I needed sorry for everyone who's listening audio-wise. I needed a clip or a picture for our podcast cover. But I
don't know if you heard me, but I said OJ didn't do it. But continue.
The prevalence of OJ in Las Vegas. But I
mean, I don't know why he wouldn't be here. He didn't do anything wrong.
I'm at a point where I was so worried about failing and so afraid of failing that when I succeeded past my wildest desires, I didn't really enjoy it because I was so wrapped up in being afraid that even though I had all these achievements, I still wasn't good enough, and that I was just so afraid of failure, and it caused me to grow tremendously, and it caused me to work harder than every person that exists on our team. I'm the hardest worker. I was the hardest worker on our team, and I was a kicker. And I have 2 torn labrums probably in both my hips, and I tore my body down time and time again, but I achieved everything I could have asked for, And so I'm extremely grateful, but I'm also kind of nostalgic, and I'm kind of I can't. My body will not take another year of football, but it's kind of like I have another year of football eligibility wise. Why would I not play, you know? But it's also
Right.
like I don't need to be here because I'm not at school here. So we're like grad transfer. I'm at a weird spot in my life and
I
it,
mean,
you know,
I think that you just got to look at it from the perspective of what left do I have to prove to myself.
I
If
don't.
you feel like there's anything left on that field that you need to go out and prove to yourself, then you go play another year. But if you truly feel like you've accomplished everything there is to do, then you're only wasting a year of your life by going out and still doing it. Even if you love doing it, there's still something else that you can love doing with your time that you can use to move, you can progress forward. Whether it's the podcast or, whether it's moving into your desired career field with your degree or whatever the fuck you want to do for the next year of your life to get yourself into the next chapter of your existence.
I'm so excited to be grinding the podcast again. It's my favorite thing to do. Besides, I was so into football this semester and it flew by and I'm so grateful for everything. But this is my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I love our episodes. I'll go on.
No, here's why I love the podcast, Sal. I do this with everybody, bro. People I don't even know. That's why I love it so much, dude. I've been trying to get you to do your own podcast for I don't know how long now. But
I mean, we'll see. I mean, cause here's what I love about our podcast, right?
Yeah.
Is the fact that you get people on that actually know what the fuck they're talking about, and you have like intelligent conversations, and then like every 6 episodes, my dumb ass just pops up again, and we're just bullshitting fucking hour.
But it's not even bullshit, bro, because we have some really in-depth conversations, and you know what you're talking about a lot of things, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you undervalue your own competence. Because when it comes to a lot of things, especially music, you know what the hell you're talking about. Even sports, you know what the hell you're talking about.
Right. I mean,
it's not like you have a low IQ. It's not like you're stupid. It's just that you haven't been put in a place where wait till you get a position, whether at Brooklyn Bowl or somewhere else with a music position, and they need your opinion, and you give them the best opinion they've ever heard. That's what I would say. You're almost there, but you just need that opportunity, I feel like a lot of people, a lot of my friends, bro, I mean, there are a lot of my friends who are just fucking lazy and they have talent, bro, there are a lot of my people, but like, there's a lot of people who actually deserve an opportunity who just haven't been given an opportunity,
Right. Yeah.
A lot of the people that I know, they just need that opportunity. And I think that's a lot of people around the world. They just need that opportunity. And don't be afraid, dude. Everything you want is on the other side of what you think you can't do.
Yeah.
Everything you want. Everyone's just people, bro. Everyone is just people. And if you realize that no one's better than you, no one's worse than you, and you can just go, make your life a lot better.
Yeah, all that talent all that fame is talent plus opportunity. That's all it is. Because, you go on Instagram or TikTok and let's say you watch someone playing guitar, right? And it's someone you don't even know and they're fucking ripping. They're just absolutely fucking shredding. I mean, that's talent, but they're not in a band that's well known. So there's no opportunity. So they're not going to reach that point of being, they're not going to play in Metallica. They're not going to be on that major level on that grand stage. They're not going to win a fucking Grammy because they just haven't gotten the opportunity, and that sucks. But I mean, that's 99% of talented people. If you go to the hood, and I say the hood because you're not going to see this in like a normal rec center, but if you go to the hood and you see a pickup game of people playing actual ball, there are people that can fucking ball. But they don't go to, some of them aren't in college. They don't go to school or whatever. They don't get that opportunity to prove themselves that they could play on a major level. It sucks. I mean, like I said, there are no white people that can play on that level.
There are
white people that have talent become punters.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, dude, honestly, everybody who's out there who's a young kid and thinks D1 is the only place that has talent, you guys are fucking idiots, bro.
No, yeah, absolutely. Oh, fuck. I just yanked on my head.
College football is the hardest thing that you could do.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
No, but like
football's crazy.
Dude, people don't understand, bro. And like, if you're a good football player at any level, I mean, like, once you get to like the fucking really low levels, it's kind of questionable. But even then, bro, like if you're an NCAA football player, even the lowest NCAA football player, bro, if you're a good low-level NCAA football player, bro, you could play in the NFL. There are Division III football players who get drafted every year.
Sure.
And there are division
Sure.
and I like, dude, there's like my best friend, one of my best friends who was our quarterback. He deserves to play somewhere else. Like he's gonna go play either overseas or somewhere else. Like he is good, bro. And it sucks that people don't understand that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's certainly one of those things. And thankfully, there are lots of opportunity aside from the NFL. The XFL, if it ever comes back, Arena League, Canadian football, everything overseas. But yeah, I mean, people just don't really get it as a whole.
It's hard, bro. College football is it is the hardest thing I have ever done, bro. It takes everything out of you. And we go to a prestigious university. So I'm going to a prestigious university and playing college football. I'm talking, I don't have any time because I'm a senior right now. I have all the time in the world. I don't know what to do with my time. But like during football season, bro, it's grind on grind on grind. And people don't understand that. I worked my ass off to get everything I needed.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that's just college, man. A lot of players that go through that when they make the NFL, they can't transition.
Yeah.
You know, I don't say it's just college. It's like, oh, it's just college. That's step one.
Yeah.
Step one's fucking hard, you know, especially when you're out there on the field. People see guys play the game and they think, oh, I could do that. It's like, really? You think you can play quarterback? You think you can, you know, every play is an ad lib, you know, even if it's a scripted play, something can go wrong and you got to be on your toes.
Bro, I had multiple games. I had multiple games this year where I should have been blocked, bro, and I got a ball off and I hit a fucking good ball. And I had 17 punts inside the 20 this year.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the other thing too. Not only do you got to do your job, you got to do your job and stay alive. God damn it. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, as I was just saying, we had to take a small little intermission there. But yeah, not only when you're doing your job, whether you're a kicker or a quarterback or a receiver or whatever, but mainly a quarterback or a kicker because you have to be behind the line of scrimmage and there's people are blocking in front of you. You have to not only do your job, but you have to also avoid the fucking mass of humanity that is coming to demolish you. Now, in your case, there are penalties that keep you protected. You cannot rough and you cannot run into.
Same for quarterback, though.
Yeah, same for the quarterback. I mean, they call rough in the pass.
But still, bro, like.
But still, it's like, if you're a running back, fucking God help you, man. Because not only do you have to find a hole and you got to get down the field and you got to power through, but you got to run full speed into if you're just trying to break through the line of scrimmage, you're running full speed and, a 300-pound linebacker is running full speed at you and you're going to collide. And the play only stops there's two ways the play stops. Well, three. You get pushed out of bounds, you get in the end zone, or you get fucking slammed into the turf.
Yeah.
Over and over and over and over and over and over again. People don't realize how physical that sport is. Just because they wear pads, the injuries are real, and the amount of power exerted is real,
bro. Yeah.
The injuries are real, and even if on the plays where people don't get hurt, linemen collide with a lot of fucking force.
Do people know what stingers are?
Stingers?
Do you know what stingers?
Yeah, bees have them, and when they make contact, they fall off and they die.
Oh, okay. A stinger is when an offensive lineman or a person who plays football, linebacker or running back, when they hit somebody, their head, a shot goes down their spine and then it goes down their arm and their arm goes numb and they can't feel their arm because they just had a spinal nerve injury. And they're just called stingers and you just play through those. My friend Kamey plays offensive line, dude, and all they do is hit their heads. But he rolled his ankle, and it was a hyper ankle sprain and he played his entire last game on it for 3 quarters. Just high ankle sprain of a guy who's 250, center 250.
Yeah, athletes just play on, and that shit's unbelievable.
All right. Also, all you motherfuckers who think the offensive linemen who are fat are not athletes, those are the most athletes, bro.
You're out of your mind.
You're out of your fucking mind, dude.
Those guys exercise more than you will ever exercise in your fucking life.
And they have to keep fat on them.
They have to stay big.
If they're not working out or hitting someone, they're eating constantly.
It's a full-time job, 24 hours a day.
It is, bro. Nobody likes to eat that much. I don't like to eat that much.
Well, no.
No, bro. When you start, because look, you probably eat
No, I
what?
know, yeah.
When you're like bulging, you probably eat like 3,000 calories. These guys have to eat like 6,000.
Yeah,
Like
they have to fucking eat. Eat
if you're
six,
losing weight, they
six
make you eat
meals a day.
so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And you have to eat enough to keep your body in that shape, but where you can offset with the cardio to where it's not like you're fucking winded after every play.
They
Like
need
it's
like
not your typical
yeah,
fat boy going up a flight of stairs where he's
yeah,
out of breath and wheezing and reaching for his fucking inhaler. You got to
yeah.
do that shit play after play after play, especially if you got a shitty offense, you got to just run the 3 plays and then you're good. But if you're on a solid team that can put together a
Yeah.
drive, you might be out there seeing 90 snaps a game.
So I punted and I held. So I was the holder for our field goal kicker.
90's a lot, but yeah, go
on. Yes. So I held, and so we had a punt, right? And I was standing on my 5, and I hit it, and it was 69 yards. And where the guy hit it, and then he dropped it, and the ball kept going, and we picked the ball up, and we got the ball at the 1 yard line, and I didn't realize that. I thought we just stopped the ball at the 1 yard line. I'm like getting hype with everybody because a 69-yard punt is a fucking bomb. It was 60 yards probably in the air, maybe longer.
Yeah, in the NFL, they don't kick.
And I'm looking out, and everyone's on the field, and there's 10 guys. I'm like, wait, Raiders alert. They were saying Raiders alert, and Raiders is our kickoff team. And I was like, wait, we haven't even kicked a field goal. And I looked up, and everyone's on the field, and I sprinted, bro. And I've never been more fucking winded in my life, bro. Punters do not run. We do not run ever. We ran the conditioning test, and I failed it. I failed the conditioning test so bad because my hip, I have a torn labrum, and I popped it again, bro, while running the conditioning test. I was on 5 out of 6, bro, but it was a hard test. I'm talking the offensive linemen have to run that shit. It's 150 yards. So it's
it's a field and a half
to the 25 and back, wherever you're at. 520. Yeah, wait, 25. So 100
to
is
the 20. So yeah,
6 times down and back, and down and back 3 times. And you have to do it under skills. Had to do it in 20 seconds. We had to do, or maybe 20 seconds. We had to do it in 26, and the offensive lineman had to do it in 32, I think.
Fuck that, dude. I would do it in 4 minutes.
What'd you say?
I said I would do that in 4 minutes.
Yeah, and
my ass.
I was on my 5th one, and my hip just popped, and I was like, I can't do it. I'm gonna fuck up my leg. And dude, people don't realize how good of shape like all these football players are in, bro. Like even the offensive linemen, bro, kickers, everything.
It's insane.
But then after season, like we stopped running. Like during season, kickers are not running. I'm sorry to say that to you.
And that's to be said for every pro athlete. I don't care if you're a fucking NASCAR driver. Those guys work out to withstand those. And I'm not saying NASCAR driving isn't a sport, because it is, to withstand those amount of fucking forces. I don't know the technical terms. I don't know if it's G-force or what, but I know those guys. It's not easy to steer a car at 200 miles an hour. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying, it's any athlete you imagine, they fucking work out. It's like, yeah, they get, yes, Patrick Mahomes makes $40 million a season. Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of money, but the kid works,
I mean, Patrick Mahomes is an interesting subject that you bring him up. I think we have to talk about his gay brother, Jackson Mahomes, dancing on Sean.
Yeah. Now, again, 2 sides to every story. They said that is just the area that they had roped off for, media people and whoever. They said they moved them to that area, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of accounts of that. I've seen accounts and pictures of people at other games that were on the same area. I guess that's just the area that had roped off. I think the blame falls on the stadium for that one. That being said, Jackson Mahomes is fucking cringy. Don't get me wrong. He's just not. He's the last person you ever want to follow on social media.
Facts.
I mean, yeah.
If you follow Jackson Mahomes,
if I was Patrick, I'd still be looking into putting him up for adoption. But I don't think the number thing was his fault.
No, I don't think it is.
Granted, he didn't have to do a fucking TikTok dance ever. Nobody asked him to do that on any part of the field. But I don't think that them putting him there was on him.
I don't think putting them there, but like, bro, like he didn't go to the last game and Patrick Mahomes had 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I want to know why. Because mom didn't ask Patrick to watch his little brother. He didn't have to. He didn't have to babysit Jackson Mahomes. He was able to out there to just have fun. Plus, let's be real, he played the Raiders. But yeah,
Hey, the Raiders have been looking nice this year. All right.
They've been looking nice. They've been looking. They've been looking wild card nice. They've been looking wild card nice.
Let's talk about everything that's been going on, bro. You got to start with John Gruden, then Henry Ruggs, and David Arnett.
Oh no, yeah, no, I agree. The Raiders have been through the ringer this season already.
Is it Vegas's fault? I say no. I'm saying look at the Golden Knights and look at the Aces. I'm talking my best friend is from Cupertino, which is NorCal, and he's saying that it's the city's fault. The Raiders. I said it's the Raiders organization that's doing this, bro. Like,
yeah, no, it's not the city's fault. I mean, look all around the league. This shit happens. Rex Ryan had a foot scandal. Aaron Hernandez killed a guy.
I think Aaron Hernandez killed like 3 or 4 people, bro, including himself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. His body count's at least 2.
I think it's at least 3. I think 2 people were in one incident at least.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson robbed that one guy at the South Point and nothing else.
Nothing else.
Football players commit crimes sometimes, and that's terrible, and they shouldn't. But
Kareem Hunt kicked. What's her name?
Yeah. Adrian Peterson beat his kid with a branch.
Listen, we do not talk about Adrian Peterson in this because Adrian Peterson is the greatest running back to have ever lived, and
for the Arizona Cardinals.
He definitely did not play for the Arizona Cardinals.
I think he did. I think he's there right now.
No, he's on the Titans right now.
Oh, and I think he went to the Cardinals.
He was on the Redskins, Lions, Vikings, Titans, maybe Cardinals. I don't think so.
Looking this up. Continue.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I don't.
Cardinals released Adrian Peterson March 13th, 2018. He had a pair of his 100-yard games in his brief Arizona tenure in 2018. There you go.
Huh. I think that CTE has 1,000% something to play with everything.
Right. But at the same time, sometimes players just, you give a mouse a cookie, and in this case, you give a mouse a shitload of money and a platform and, verified social media and fame and fortune, and they don't know how to handle it, and they go out and they make mistakes like Henry Ruggs did.
So let's talk about all 3 of them, though.
Yeah, sometimes CTE plays a case, Look at Chris Benoit. Sometimes, they're too young to even get it, like Henry Ruggs, and they just fucking do shit like that. So, I mean, it's I don't blame Vegas. I just, things happen all around the world. Look at the Chicago Blackhawks coach. Same fucking thing.
Coaching is John Gruden. John Gruden is, if you looked at any of the NFL coaches, like any of the older NFL coaches' emails, bro, like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah.
You think Jerry Jones ain't saying the N-word ever? Come on. Come on. Jerry Jones has said the N-word at least twice.
Every day of his life.
Yeah, I'm going to say, like, there are people, but it's America's team, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, the John Gruden thing is unfortunate that he's like that. It's unfortunate that he was the only one that was looked at, because I think if they looked at the NFL, it'd be a lot more racist than they think. It started out with all white people, bro.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and even if it wasn't racist, it would be at least fucked up. You can't tell me Bill Belichick doesn't go down to the fucking massage parlor and get happy endings all the time. There's no way. Like, I mean, even if, they're not racist, there's a handful of coaches that I feel like are just normal, regular, fucking decent guys.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's up to something. But, I mean, that's professional sports, It's if you give a guy enough money, they start to get they get like a god complex.
Yeah.
And that's not just football. I mean, look at baseball. Baseball's entire sport is based on, breaking the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the entire fabric of baseball is about just debauchery. I hate to say it, but like, everything from steroid scandals to guys pitching games on acid to Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle showing up fucking hammered for every game to, people, chewing tobacco while you play a sport and just spitting everywhere. It's like nobody's ever taken that sport seriously. It's a game, and it's a sport, and it's a great game. And it's a wonderful game, but people, it's just like it's one of those sports where it's just that kind of shit just happens, man. I mean, like Jimmy Carr summed it up really well with a joke on, I think it was the roast of
Justin Bieber?
I think it was Rob Lowe.
It might have been. I think it might have been Rob Lowe. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the joke I'm talking about? Where he's like, Peyton Manning is, he's a British comic, so he's like, I don't know much about American football, but Peyton Manning's here tonight. Peyton played with some of the greatest murderers, criminals, and wife beaters on planet Earth, or something like that. He said something along.
Yeah,
those
I do
lines.
remember that. Yeah.
The following joke was funnier, where he said the only people who get more concussions than NFL players are their wives. That was a funnier joke. But, yeah, point is, it's just people do fucked up shit when they get a lot of money. There's no way to escape it. I wish there was. But, all right, yeah, so so get this, right?
We had to take a 20-minute digression real quick.
Yeah.
Say what you were saying, though.
So, Collin, I'm going to out you. Collin had to go to the bathroom, right? So we paused the podcast so we could do that. And in the meantime, I turn around because behind me on my bed over here, I don't know if you've been able to see it, but I've had some mail. I had a package from a buddy of mine who's in a really popular pop punk band out of Florida. And I had another envelope that was addressed to me that just had my name in the middle, and it was like really faintly stamped, and in the corner it was like faintly stamped by some like people in Tennessee that I'd never heard of. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So get this, right? Let me take you back in time to 2 years ago. My father has a 3-team parlay, okay? 2 of the first teams are in. He's got BYU left. He's got a $30 3-teamer, right? He needs the first half to go over. BYU is a field goal away from making it over, right? It's like a 30. They get it's like a 40-yard field goal or some shit that they line up to make, and then there's a penalty and they go back 15 yards. So it's a 55-yard field goal they have to make at the buzzer, at like 2 seconds left in the first half to win him this bet. My dad thinks he's dead in the water. It's college. You're in college. You know this. Not a lot of college kickers can kick 55. Out trots number 39, Jake Oldroyd for the BYU Cougars. Jake Oldroyd fucking drills it. It would have been good from 67. He would have put out Justin Tucker. He fucking drills this field goal, splits the uprights. It's good. He wins my dad like $210 or whatever the fuck the 3-teamer is. I think it's 210 because it's 6-1 on your money, and he had $30 on it, so that profits 180 plus your 30 back. So Jake Oldroyd wins my dad this bet. From that day forward, my dad was a massive Jake Oldroyd fan. Every time BYU would be on, he'd put him on to root for Jake Oldroyd. Since then, I went to follow Jake Oldroyd on Instagram. He only has like 2,000 followers. It was a private account. He accepted my follow. I was very happy that he let me in the club. Well, earlier this year, Jake Oldroyd announces that he's getting married. And he puts like a link in his bio to where you can sign up to get to get on like the mailing list for like the wedding invitation.
Yeah, the Mormon that they do that. Yeah,
that's where he fucked up, because that I immediately signed up to be on the list.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at this envelope. I'll pull it up now. I'm looking at this envelope, and it's not very discerning. Like let's see, my name's barely stamped on it. It's barely there. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what the fuck could this be? And then I see it's postmarked from Provo, Utah. And I automatically knew what it was, what the fuck was up. So I had to pause to go grab my dad, and we cut it open very carefully, put it together.
Are you invited to this wedding, Sal?
I am 100% invited to Jake Oldroyd's wedding.
You're going to Jake Oldroyd's wedding?
You bet your ass I'm going to Jake Oldroyd's wedding.
Does he even know who you are, bro?
Nope, not a clue. Never spoke to him a day in my life. My dad and I are 100% pulling up. And
Bro,
at the wedding, we're just going to be there.
What is the package?
Oh, the package is unrelated. That's some other shit that I was expecting anyway. The package is a buddy that plays in a band that sent me pretty much all the pics that they used on the last tour, some tour laminates, and some other stuff too.
That is unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
You please. When is that wedding?
So here's the thing. There's a QR code. Oh, I'll just hit my head on the mic. There's a QR code that I can scan to RSVP and more details about our big day, including information about our celebrations in Texas and Tennessee and our registry. So I'm going to do that in just a moment. You know what? I might as well fuck it. I'm going to do that live on the podcast. Where's my phone? Oh, it's in my pocket. So I'm going to do that now. It said on here, on the invite itself, that the fucking thing is says the reception in their honor. It says, please join us for a reception in their honor on December 30th, 2021 from 6:30 to 8:30. Now that sucks.
September 23rd?
No, December 30th, the day prior to New Year's Eve.
This year?
Yeah, no, Mormons don't waste time. Now, I don't know. See, that's it. That's difficult because it's going to be tough to fly out on New Year's Eve. I have to work the night of New Year's Eve. I think I have to work the 30th as well. So that
You mean the 31st?
Oh no! I'd have to work the 31st and the 30th. I think.
And theirs is on the 30th.
Theirs is on the 30th, the reception. So I'm gonna figure out what's going on. If the wedding out, is the reception before or after the wedding? It's after.
I think it's
right?
after. It's got to be after.
So if it's after, then fuck the reception. I'll just go to the wedding on like the 29th. Perfect.
Dude, but don't you want to say why you're there?
Oh yeah, but I'll tell them at the ceremony. I'll be at the wedding, and I'll like, you know.
No, you can't just go up to some guy at his wedding ceremony and tell him. Why did he invite you? I'm so confused.
I'm invited. I'm not just some guy. I'm an invited guest. I'm on the list.
Why did he invite you?
I think it was just an automated thing where like you just put in your shit, and I think they just sent out invites.
There's no way, because there's got to be random people who did that.
I doubt it. Who the fuck would do that?
You.
Exactly. Who else would? There's nobody else that would.
Yes, some random kicker. Yeah, that's true.
Dude, I'm going to have a fucking framed photo of some random kicker and his wife in my house. Because you know I'm framing this shit.
That's a great story though, right? Like,
it's unbelievable. But you know what's going to be even better? When I show the photo of my dad and I with Jake and his wife at their beautiful wedding to top the story off because we actually fucking went.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
We have to go. And I'm sure that Jake will have a good spirit about it. It's not like we're going to go there and like just drink for free and eat all his food and like harass his family. Yeah. Plus, I can't tell that story at the reception because it involves gambling and we'll be thrown out of Utah.
You act like they are even going to have an open bar. That's why they have everybody out. That's why they invite everybody. They invite everybody to fuck them. Yeah, come watch us get married and drink water and orange juice.
You're right. Yeah. It's an open bar, but there's just nothing there.
Literally, bro.
The bartender that's like, "What can I get you? Water or milk?"
What can I get you? Can I get you a mimosa? You'd be like, yeah, can I have a mimosa? And he puts Sprite with orange juice. It's like, this is not a mimosa.
At all.
So, it's insane how far I've come with this podcast and how far it's going to go in the next few years. Dude, it's not even with the podcast, dude. It's just like how much I've grown as a person, bro. You knew me. You knew me. What is that?
Right. It won't focus. I'm on the RSVP page now. Go on. I have known you. Enter the first and last name of one member of your party below. If you're responding for you and a guest or your family, you'll be able to RSVP for your entire group on the next page.
Bro, right? I can't believe you're going to the fucking podcast, bro. I mean, you're going to the wedding.
I have to.
You do have to. At this point?
If anything, I'm at least on the fucking registry.
So, yeah, but you knew me, like, bro, when I was, like, kind of a pussy. Not like a pussy, but, like, kind of an asshole. And, like, but I also, like, was kind of, like, really, like, insecure. And I just grown a lot, you know? I just grown a lot. I've grown a lot, and it's been the most important thing to me. I'm excited for the future, dude, a lot, but I'm also like, what happened?
Um, I put in my name first and it says, we can't exactly find your name. Enter it exactly as it is on your invitation. But I put the junior at the end of my name because I do that. So I
Yeah.
took the junior off and then it fucking let me in. So it's, I guess there's like a fucking list that you have to be on to even RSVP on this website, and I'm on the
Should
list.
I RSVP just for no reason?
Dude, I should get like fucking 400 people to just RSVP and have just a mob pull up the Jake Oldroyd's wedding. Anyway, continue. Sorry, I fucking wasn't even listening because I'm so excited about this. This is overtaking my love for this podcast. You were saying something. I don't even fucking know.
Yeah, I was just saying that like the growth that I've been
Oh, yeah,
going
yeah,
through,
yeah.
bro, has been like the most important thing to me. And I'm excited for the future though, because I don't know where it's gonna lead me, you know? I don't know I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna change a lot. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm excited, you know?
Right, for sure.
What are you excited for in the future, bro? You excited? Like, what do you want to do with your life? Like, what if you could see yourself having your dream life? What is your dream life?
I don't know, man. I don't know because, like, I just. Oh, I guess I'm not invited to the actual wedding, just the reception. I guess it's a small wedding. Well, that fucking sucks. That sucks, dick.
That
Now
does
I
suck,
have to
dude.
fuck. Now I have to go press him at the fucking reception.
It makes your life a little easier for like
Yeah.
work though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I might have to take a flight right after the reception and call my job. Be like, yo, I'll be there at like midnight. I got a thing. Anyway, no. What is my dream? Like my dream position in life?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm playing it by ear. Truly, I'm playing it by ear because I want to explore other avenues of life as well and see where they take me in addition to what I'm doing. Right now, I mean, as it looks at the moment, I would like to get into either marketing or social media representation for the music industry and work with artists and other clientele or represent a large venue or a major brand such as like Live Nation, Ticketmaster, things like that, AEG. Um, but I mean, I've also, I'm still young and I've thought about I've thought about podcasting. Clearly, I'm doing it here with you. Um, I've thought about going into stand up. I always write material because I just come up
Hmm.
with jokes that make me laugh and I just jot them down in my notes. And so I've kicked around the idea of going out and trying them on stage and trying to just tell some jokes and make some people laugh. So who knows? Maybe I'll become a stand up artist one day. I have no fucking idea. I know the one thing is I just can't like, not that there's anything wrong with it. For some people it's great, but like for me, I can't work like a blue collar job.
Neither
You
can
know,
I.
to me that's failure, and I know I'm not trying to insult anyone that does that kind of thing because it's like some people really want to do that stuff. They want to become electricians or plumbers or whatever, or construction workers, and like it's great money, and by all means you are not a failure if you were able to put a roof over your family's head and put food on the table, by all means. But for me it's like I just, if I end up going down that road, I'm gonna wake up every day and not be a happy person, and I'm gonna go to a job that I hate, and I'm gonna waste the only life that I have. So for me it's just, I don't know, man. My dream is just find a job that gives me the gratification to where I feel proud of myself. It's like, and I think that's the dream for everyone, is just get to a point where I feel like I am comfortable with my own success and I feel like I made it and I'm proud of myself. And whether that means I'm rich and
I think for me, like the biggest success for me is just like I actually don't know because I feel like I can do unimaginable things now that I've done the unexpected in football. Like I feel
I
like
don't I
success
don't
for
think
me.
I don't think anything's unimaginable.
True. Yeah, I think the really goal for me right now is to find is to find a job that I'm in love with, and I like. I think law is that route for me. I think being a lawyer is gonna be a lot of fun,
Do it.
and then start a family and have kids, and make it to my kids' soccer games, and to take off enough work where I can live my life happily, while also feeling successful. Finding a
Yeah.
balance. So I think that's my biggest forward glance of success.
10-year plan, as they call it.
What do
Yeah,
you
my
think
feeling.
that your biggest what do you think if you look at your future, what do you think you're most scared of? What is your what are you running away from? What is your biggest sign of failure, what do you not want to have happen for your future? What do you know?
Well, I mean, there's a few things, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll start with the obvious. I don't want to be homeless. I think everyone can confidently say that that's the one thing we all have in common. We don't want to end up with nothing, right? But to me, it's like I don't want to end up working some dead end job that I've worked this far in my life in my 20s. I don't want just history to constantly repeat itself and me keep working at more and more gas stations because I keep falling flat on my ass. Now, granted, I'm 20. I'm supposed to, or I was 20. I'm 23 now. I'm in my early 20s. I'm supposed to work shitty jobs, right? That's how it works. It's part of growing up. It's a
Yeah.
fucking ladder. You go one rung at a time. But I don't want to get stuck on that rung forever because, it's like I did work with people at those gas stations that were 50 or 60. And yeah, maybe some of them had other jobs and they left that and they just, they're stay-at-home moms and they just wanted to get something to get out of the house and make some money on the side. And it's whatever. And they don't need a lot because their significant other pulls the majority of the weight or whatever. And that's great if that's the situation that you're in. But that's not where I want to be. I don't want to be doing something that I know that I want to be in a position where where I know that I'm the only one qualified to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's like I have to be, I have to be my own boss or work, in a job where I'm like that irreplaceable. It's just I don't want to work in a fucking gas station where I know any 21-year-old can come and take my job. It's like I want to at least have some sort of position that reflects my experience in life. And yeah, it's just if I'm ever if I'm ever in a situation where I can be replaced by someone way younger than me that has less experience or whatever, because I'm just in that sort of a position, that's game over. I failed. I've lost, and I can't fucking lose. That's just it. And I think that goes for anyone our age. We can't fucking lose because we can't afford to. It's a lot of pressure, but pressure
Yeah.
either makes diamonds or it breaks things. So, which
Well,
one are you?
Sal, looking at our time, I think this has been a good conversation.
I think so too. I think I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
go to Johnny Mac's and eat some half-price pizza.
Thank you for coming back on as the first guest. It's been a lot of fun.
Dude, fuck yeah! I can't wait to be on again. And
Person
again,
next time you should come on in a week or two. When I'm home.
dude, fuck yeah! Let's do it. Let's do it in person. We'll do it. We'll grab pizza again. This time I won't pay fucking $17 from Domino's, and we'll do it. And you know
So
what? I'll bring Jake Oldroyd with me.
well, have a great night, Sal.
You too,
I'll be
Collin.
out tomorrow, bro. I love you to death, bro.
I love
Have a
you
great
more.
night, bro. See you, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah. Later, guys.